Hey guys, it's me. Obviously it's me, I always say that. I wanted to do this short video. I have a little bit of a different angle here, and I kind of like this angle now. I have a little bit of a different setup for my camera. It's not completely aerial like it was before. And honestly, because I used to set my camera on my fan, I had a pedestal fan, but I'm kind of using my fan now because it's a little bit warm in here, so I actually have my camera set up on my wreath stand. So, but it's a very good angle. I think it'll work. I wanted to jump on and shoot this quick video because we're doing the poly burlap flower class, and there's a couple of different centers that you can do for the flower. You'll notice that with the wreath form, or excuse me, with the wreath kit, you would have gotten, I hope my volume is on here. Hold on one second for me. I just want to just check and make sure that my volume is on. Okay. You would have gotten a roll of black mesh with the kit. If you bought the poly burlap flower kit, you would have gotten a roll of the colored mesh that you want for your flower petals. You would have gotten a roll of the green mesh for the leaves, not mesh, I'm sorry, poly burlap. And you would have also gotten a roll of black mesh. Did I just say that? I apologize. For a center. Now, there's a center that you can make for this flower with black mesh, and you're just basically going to make spirals out of it and zip tie it to this plastic canvas, which will be in the center of your wreath form, okay? Or you can do like what's pictured in the events calendar under the class listing for this class. It is a yarn center, or you can even use a jute tubing. I think what's shown in the picture is a jute tubing, and you can get that online. It's a little bit thicker, but yarn will work just as well. I'm actually going to be doing a turquoise flower. Let me grab my color over here. I just cut it. This is the color that I'm going to be using for my flower. Whoop, this is a turquoise, okay? So I wanted to pick something that, you know, complemented the turquoise but didn't really take away from it. You know, I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to keep something that was, you know, going to complement it but not necessarily be, you know, very overpowering color-wise. My turquoise, my little roll is falling apart here. If you did choose the purple for your flower, you can go by the color that's in the picture. You can pick whatever color you want for your center if you're doing the yarn center. I went to Hobby Lobby and I got, this is a yarn by Yarn Bee. You can see that. They have real thick kinds, and they have thin kinds, and they have some that are kind of in the middle. You can see this is something that's sort of in the middle, and I think this is going to work well. You don't really want to get something that's too thin or too thick. Now what we're going to do, first of all, if you're going to be doing the yarn center, you want to take this piece of plastic canvas that I told you to buy. I got this at Hobby Lobby. It was $2.19. It says right here. It's in the sewing department. This is typically what you use for the centers of any flower that you're going to make. Because when you're making a flower, you're going to put either a styrofoam ball in the middle, like we did our poinsettia. Something is going to be going in the middle, your flower petals. In this instance, it's going to be our yarn or the black mesh. I'm going to be doing the black mesh in class tomorrow. But I wanted to show you how to do a center for with the yarn too. So the first thing you're going to do, and this is a 12-inch wreath form. You can use a 12-inch wreath form, or you can use a 10-inch wreath form. But this is 12-inch. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to, you can actually go off of it a little bit, or go right to the corner, because we can use this for several. This is the largest piece that they had. And you're just going to trace around it, because you're going to cut that out. That's going to go in the middle of your flower. You can use a 10-inch wreath form too, but don't use a 14. That's going to be way too big for your flower. And then you just go ahead, and I'm just going to do this first and get it off of here. So you have all this left over that you can use for another flower. So go ahead and just cut along your lines. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to be hidden. Now I'm not going to do the whole thing for you. I'm just going to kind of show you the steps that you need to do. And then it's pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to keep going until it's all filled in. So what you're going to do, you're going to take your yarn. You're not going to cut it. You're just going to take it and you're going to start wrapping it around your hand, okay? I do it like 6 or 7 times. So 1, don't be perfect, doesn't have to be even. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? So it's like that. 7 or 8 times, doesn't matter. You're going to take it. So you have your loops. You're going to kind of grab it in the middle, like that. Again, you're not going to cut it. You're going to kind of pinch it in the middle. You're going to get your zip tie. These are 4-inch zip ties. These are long enough from Walmart. They're like $1 a pack for 100. And you're going to pull it or put it around the center. Okay, like that. So it's around the center. And you're just going to, you can start in the middle and you're just going to push it through the holes in your, actually, you know what? I can't do it like that. I have to go underneath. My bad. So go underneath first. Hold on, let me think for a second here. I'm like confused. I don't know why all of a sudden I'm confused. Oh, I see, okay. I had a brain aneurysm here, which isn't a funny thing. You go up through the bottom, see it there in the middle, you can start in the middle. Then go around the center of your little yarn bundle, okay? You're gonna go around the other side and push it through like as close as you can. You don't have to find the hole, it's like right next to the one that you went up through, but it's kind of hard to do it with one hand, so you might want to lay it down. So go right back down through. And you're going to zip tie it. So it's going to be laying kind of flat at first, okay? It's kind of flat. And this one here, your end piece, you can cut that off. Now, when you start filling it in more, they're going to push each other up like that. The yarn's going to push up, and so you're going to have, it's going to look like that when you're all done in the center. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's just keep going. It doesn't really look like much right now, but when you get them all squished together, so let's just do it again. Like I said, don't cut it. Go around your hand again 6 or 7 times. Maybe I'll do 7 or 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'll do 8. Okay. Pinch it in the middle again. Go right down next to your other one. Gonna go up through the bottom first, okay? And then you grab it in the center, like that, with your zip tie. Like I said, you can use jute tubing with this too. We'll go back down around. It's kind of getting caught on the yarn, so just be cognizant of what you're doing here. I lost the other piece of my zip tie. Hold on a second here. This yarn is so fluffy. But you don't want to do, you know, you can do yarn that's a little bit thinner. It just looks better when it's when it's thicker. Hold on, I'm trying to just push this through now. There we go. Once you have it pulled through, so I had 2 pieces of my zip tie pulled through, and it's wrapped around the center, I'm just going to zip tie it closed. You can even be sitting when you do this. I might even go ahead and sit. There we go. For some reason, this other zip tie didn't pull all the way through. I don't know why it didn't do that. Okay, so again, they're laying kind of flat. But once you get them all, you keep adding and adding and adding, and they're gonna push each other up like that. It's gonna look like a seated center is what it's gonna look like. This one's actually a little bit too long. I'm just gonna cut that one off. That one got a little bit too long. If you see some that are sticking up a little bit more than other ones and it looks weird, just cut it off. But it's the center of a flower, you know, it isn't supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to look natural. So again, once you get all your pieces in there, they're going to be tight together like that. It's going to kind of look like seeds. I'm actually going to grab my chair. I've had a problem lately with my knee. I went to the gym, I think it was Thursday, last Thursday. Last day I went, and of course my daughter was home, so we kind of hung out and did stuff. I didn't really have much time for the gym, but lately my knee has just really been bothering me, and I don't know what it is. And it's funny because it hurts more when I'm stationary, like if I'm laying down at night or if I'm sitting. If I'm walking around, it's totally fine. So anyway, but I'm going to sit for now because it's the end of the day. I feel like resting. So just keep going. Wrap it around your hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just going to do 8. Make sure it's even, okay? Pinch it in the middle. Get your zip tie. Go up as close as you can to the previous one. Pull that end through. Find where it went. Pull the end through here. Move this out of the way. We don't do that yet. Pull the end of the zip tie through. Go around the middle of your little yarn bundle. Your goal is to get it as close as you can to the other ones. And just push it through the bottom. Make sure it's around the center of your bundle so it's even. Your little loops are even on both sides. So look how fast that goes. Then you have 3 here. Again, this is totally optional. You don't have to do your center this way, but I wanted to show you how to do this because this is what's shown in the picture. It's a different color in the picture, and I think in the picture they use jute tubing, and this is yarn, but yarn works just as well. And again, you're just going to keep getting them closer and closer together, so it's going to look like that when it's all filled. And you're just going to keep filling it all in. That's really all you're doing. So it's a little bit time consuming, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I cannot tell you the last time I bought a skein of yarn. My mama used to crochet, and she used to have a lot of yarn around the house, but she passed away. She kind of tried to teach me how to crochet once, but it never really caught on. She started crocheting a blanket for my daughter. What year did she pass away? 2005? Yeah, she started crocheting a blanket for my youngest daughter, who was probably 9 years old at the time. And she got about halfway through it before she passed away. And my goal was to always finish it for her. But, you know, it's funny because I was at my sister's house the other day and I found the little bucket of yarn with the yarn in it and the blanket that she had started. And, you know, I actually brought it home with me and I thought maybe I'll do that. But oh my gosh, I don't remember how to crochet. She showed me, but I do not remember. So there we go. I don't even know how many bundles we have. There's 4 zip ties, so there's 4 bundles here right now. But you can see how it's already starting to fill in. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You're just going to want to get them as tight as you can. And that makes a nice little center. It's just something a little bit different. So I'm going to snip some of these off. And that's all you do is just snip your zip ties off. Turn my camera this way a little bit more. Again, your goal is to get it as close to your previous bundle as you can. Again, it's a little bit time consuming. If you don't have this done before class, please don't panic. You can make your flower with me in class and do your center later. If some of the pieces, again, are a little bit longer, you know, and you don't like the way they look, you can just snip them off. Okay, I think those are a little bit too long, so I'm just going to snip them off. That's why it's important to have your zip tie right in the center, because you're going to end up having loops that are longer on one side and shorter on the other, and they're not going to come out. I just snipped off a couple of pieces, but they're not going to come out. Isn't that pretty? The lighting is so bad in here. I'm so sorry. But you can see how it looks like a little seated center here. I'm going to start going around this side. I know it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing, but you get the idea. And just make sure that you're grabbing your bundle in the center, okay, in the center of your bundle with your zip tie. So your loops are even on both sides. See, I don't know what's happening with mine, but I get a couple that just want to be longer than the other ones. So not quite sure how that's happening, but I'm just cutting it off just so it's even. That's really cute. How many minutes has it been? It's only been about 15 minutes. I'm pretty much, well, I've got like maybe a third of it done. Again, there's your loops, okay? You got to try to hold it in the middle. If you have a chip clip or a paper clip or something, it might help while you're feeding the zip tie. Sorry, I just wanted to fix my blurriness. You have a chip clip or a paper clip or something to hold it while you feed your zip tie through, you can certainly do that. Or if you want to zip tie it first, watch this. If you want to zip tie it first, just to hold it, let's see if this will work. And to make sure that you have it in the center. So it's even in the center, okay, like that. And then snip that off. You're going to end up using twice as many zip ties, but it might help you hold it. So when you grab your other zip tie and push it up through, you don't have to worry about trying to hold the yarn bundle together too. That's another option for you. That might be a little bit easier. So I have my zip tie pulled through and it's already in the middle. All I really have to do is just kind of place it down there. And so you're going to have a couple of zip ties. You'll have 2 zip ties, but you won't have to worry about your bundle coming apart while you feed your zip tie through. That might make it a little bit easier for you. And you're not going to see that it's zip tied twice because, you know, it's going to be on the bottom. See that? Again, I have a couple pieces that are a little bit longer. I'm not going to go keep snipping them. You know, but if you want to, if it bothers you that a couple are a little bit longer than the other ones, by all means, trim it if you want to. But that worked out pretty well. I didn't have to worry about holding my little bundle together while I was feeding my zip tie through. And I'll show you again what I mean by that. Take your yarn or your tubing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to do 8, 7, 8. Okay. So instead of trying to fiddle with it and hold it while you do your zip tie through the bottom, just zip tie it first, just to hold it together. See that? This yarn is making my nose itch. Woo! And then go ahead and feed it through. Again, as close as you can to the other ones. Feed it up through the bottom. Okay, make sure you have the flat side. You know how to put a zip tie on. It has to go through the flat side. So feed up your piece right there. Feed it up. Lay your bundle down, your little yarn bundle. Go over it with the zip tie and back down through. That's it. And all you're going to do is just keep filling it all in. when you have it all filled in, okay, because I'm not going to do all this tonight. Where'd my wreath form go? When you have it all filled in, I'm just going to show you quickly here. All you're going to do is take a couple of zip ties. I'm not going to zip tie them now, and you're just going to attach it to your wreath form. Maybe I'll do it and I'll just cut it loose. And you're going to do this after you put your flower petals on. Don't do it before. You can get this ready if you want to have it ready for class, but don't zip tie it to the wreath form until you have your petals on. That's the last thing that you do. All right, and see how I just zip tied it. You're probably going to need to do a couple, because once you get all your petals on, your flower petals, your center is probably not going to go down this far because your petals are going to be really poofy. It's probably going to sit up a little bit more on, sort of on top of your petals. But this is how you're going to attach it to your wreath form. And you can see how cute that is. And you can see how pretty it's going to be when it's all filled in. And you have all of your, see, it's going to be pushed right up like that because you're going to make it really tight. And it's going to end up looking like a seated center. Really, really cute. But I'm going to stop for now, you guys. I'm going to keep working on this. So in class tomorrow, I can show you, I got to get these zip ties off now. So in class tomorrow, I can show you how it looks when it's completed. But, you know, you kind of got the idea. I mean, you can go ahead and you can do yours before class. If you want to wait and do it, you just do your flower petals tomorrow and do your center after class. We're going to be doing the center with the black mesh in class, the black mesh that came with the kit. But I wanted to show you how to do this and how easy it was. Again, you can use yarn, you can use any color yarn, you can use jute tubing. You know, you can even use the jute tubing that came from the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree around the holidays, they sell all different colors of the jute tubing, and that's more plastic looking, but you could still use it. This I thought was a little bit softer looking because poly burlap is a little bit softer. It's not like mesh. It's a little more, you know, muted in color. If you had a flower with metallic mesh, you could definitely use the jute tubing from the Dollar Tree and the, you know, the shiny colors. That would definitely pair well with the metallic mesh for a flower, or, you know, a poinsettia or whatever you're making for whatever type of flower you're making. Yeah, I keep cutting off my loops because they were a little bit big in some spots. But anyway, that's it, you guys. This is how you make the yarn center. You can also use jute tubing. My light is terrible in here, but it's very, very easy to do. You just keep filling it in and making your loops and zip tying it in. And then when you're done, we just zip tie it to the middle of the wreath. That's it. All right, guys. I'll see you in class. Bye.